Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big...
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the storm.
How does
community 0?
There's nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning.
Welcome everybody into the playoff season, East Coast Conference style, where we are in the semifinals and we bring you the number 1 versus number 4 seeded teams. Number 1 sitting with NYIT, the Cyber 6-1 in their season, taking on the number 4 seed of the Molloy University Lions, who are 3-4 in their records. One of these teams advancing on to the championship round next week, Sunday. So we will see who that will be coming up in a little while. Clutchkey alongside Acoustics here inside of the booth, and an exciting session here. We've got semifinals. Not the 2 versus 3, but still 1 versus 4 teams making it out of the East Coast Conference, and we will get to see which one of these teams advances on and marches on into the finals.
Yep, absolutely. This is a New York versus New York kill right here, so I'm interested to see who's going to rep the state better. And our first map is going to be Control on Lee Zhong Tower, so it's going to be amazing to see.
And I think we lost Acoustics there for a second, but we'll try to get his audio back here in a little while. But in the meantime, East Coast Conference, like we were saying, number 1 versus number 4, going on the other side of the bracket. Number 2 Staten Island taking on number 3 Southern New Hampshire. That game started about half an hour ago. We'll see if we can get any updates in the meantime to see which one of those teams will be the other side of the finals coming up next week, Sunday. But in the meantime, map order to decide right now, it's Control, Hybrid, Escort, Push, and back to Control map number 5. Tiebreaker in overtime would be Hybrid. If we go to map 7, potentially, if by any chance at all, it would then go back to Escort right after that. So Lee Zhong Tower going to be the first map coming up here. So Lee Zhong Tower, we try to figure out what our start is going to be for the maps, and obviously we'll get to see some of the metas as well. The metas we've seen so far, Roadhog and Winston kind of an integral part as well. We've also seen the Sojourn plus the Reaper on the DPS side. Healers tend to normally be Kiriko and Lucy. We'll see if they decide to run that for New York Tech. However, on your right side of your screen, you're deciding to run the Faro with no Mercy attached to it. That'd be an interesting fact. Molloy probably going to switch on over from the Symmetra just to get to the point faster and switch on over to a Reaper maybe afterwards, or if they keep the Symmetra, that'll be pretty interesting. They keep the Symmetra, actually. So this will be a fast point from Molloy here. And here we go with the first fight. Hogs will miss each other's hooks to start. And right now it's just to see if anybody can get any entry in. For right now, Molloy sits on the point with 3 turrets in hand, no teleportations to go in there, but they're going to be met with a flurry of turrets on the right side should they decide to come in. Hogs miss again on either hook. Zeisler right now, as we've been told Zeisler one of the Valorant players, but still on this Overwatch team looking very impressive on this floor. Gets a direct hit, gets a kill on the Pinecone to start. Already has a rocket rush available in the very first fight of play. That's going to give New York Tech the advantage. That's going to give New York Tech the flip, and not even a percentage. Molloy started off from this point to start. It ain't even going to matter. New York Tech starts off with the percentage.
Yeah, exactly, Clutch. It's just as you called it. They did do a center control start. I wanted the Garden start, but we're going to fight out immediately. And it looks like New York Tech is just going to keep it up. And they did in fact decide to go the Fair Mercy comp. And right now, Zeiser is putting in great work. I didn't even know he built up percentage that quickly to have ult within the first 60 seconds of the match. That actually is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing to build up an ult that fast, especially on a Pharaoh. But when you're hitting a lot of shots, when you're hitting a lot of directs, it's good. But Dark Hybrid, who switches on over to the Ashe from the Symmetra, gets some nice shots onto Zeisler. Although the Sojourn falling oh so low, and SOS Rebellion falling down in the meantime. So it's a switch off, it's a trade-off for right now. The whole hog comes out from either side, but Chimp XC goes out of it, and Killer Blood RD does get a kill on to Grebka. Meanwhile, Grebka is revived up, so we're back to an even trade, but the Roadhog out of place for a little while. But it might not even matter when Zeisler comes out with a shot for you. There's a Kitsune Rush coming out from Grebka, which looks good for them thus far, and New York Tech, after all of the staggers that happened, hold on.
Absolutely gate control right there from New York Tech. Gonna stay on to the point. They still have 2 ults available as well for defense. Both of them great offensive ults. It's gonna be useful to see if they can just hold on. Right now they're just fighting again at the point, and it looks like they're going for a major 5-man flank on the right side. All right, going through the room.
We'll see if they can. Oh boy, we'll see if they can get through the room. Good thing Zeisler comes out of there for a little while. Has a rocket barrage. Sound barrier also available for Combat Frog at the same time, seeing if they want to use that right now. Not just yet. Maybe waiting for that sound barrier to go down. So really, there's nothing going there. Maybe waiting for the hook.
Oh,
he is hooked on
what a
Zeisler.
great hook.
Pulled out of the air. Killer Blub RD is going to win this fight for them right away. No use of a rocket barrage whatsoever. A good fight for Molloy, and the Lions get their first shot at percentage.
They got it from Killer Blair. That is some great hookage right there. Reading the jump immediately from Farrah and going for the hook. That's a little bit high level right there. I respect it. Oh, great shots from Dark Hybrid.
Yeah, Dark Hybrid hitting a lot of shots here. That Ashe is just making sure that this Pharah is kept in check a little bit. And again, this is going to be another part where the Pharah holds on to that barrage, but still coming up on 2 ultimates, has a Death Blossom, has the Rocket Barrage available at the same time. Molloy coming up on 3 ults of their own. And look at the hook. The hook pulls him over the edge. Almost an environmental kill, if you will, but Killer Blood still doing enough damage and a good Bionade from Pinecone, so New York Tech has to back off again.
Absolutely, and this is great for Molloy, managing to hold on to after those 2 fights. They still have a rocky start. If they manage to lose even a single fight, it'll be map over for them. All right, there's a soldier.
Well, the
yeah, she's just kind of deep. Okay.
Yeah, the Mercy's all the way just hanging out here.
Come on, hit me, guys.
I guess, but I mean, if you're Dark Hybrid's been hitting a lot of shots. Death Blossom comes out in the middle, finds absolutely nothing, finds 0. Sven is capped at all costs there, and that's huge for them. Does get Dark Hybrid in the meantime, but it's a 3-on-1 trade. Zeisler still in the air, though, causing some havoc. And right now, the trade's looking good for the Lions. Zeisler out of play, and New York Tech has no answer, coming up on 72%.
Oh, yeah, and Killer Blood has honestly just been on point with those hooks, managing to get rid of Cringe before he even had a chance to really complete the comp with Zeisler. And Zeisler going to switch actually off to Hanzo right now. I smell a little bit of desperation.
Might not be desperation. Oh, but there might be desperation now. Combat Frog knocks Sven out of the map. He is knocked off by environmental kill. No teleport available to him, so 95%. Somebody's got to find a way to touch the point. Who is it going to be? Is anybody going to reach this in time? The Hog won't get there in time. There is an overtime clock that is hit in the meantime, so that means the flank did happen in the meantime. But nobody else is going to touch the process. And Molloy comes all the way back down. 95%, brings it all the way back to 100, and they're up in the map 1-0.
What a turnaround from Molloy. Absolutely. After flubbing those first 2 fights, managing to turn it around, capping all the way back from 95%. And I think really the major turnaround had to be from Killer Blood right there. He definitely started making some great engages, great hooks, and then Dark Hybrid with the Ashe, managing to constantly snipe down Zeisler, saying, listen, you can fly all you want, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel for me.
Oh boy, so right now Molloy and Killer Bluebird right now looking very, very good right now on the side of Molloy's, getting the hooks off that they needed and getting the kills that they want. For New York Tech, though, switching it up. And this is going to be a first look. Not very common in this patch or the meta. You're going to see a Reinhardt being pulled out here. In control center, pull out what works here. Ace slept immediately, so we'll see if there's a hook that's available to them. And a great hook onto Grebka in the back line causes that kitty goat to go down. So your only healer left is Lucio. Molloy could admin could be the goal signal for them, and it absolutely is. Pinecone gets the kill onto Chimp XC, so no healer, no tank. Guess what? Back off for the tech. The Lions have control.
Nice. All right, and the Reinhardt pick is interesting. Perhaps maybe feeling that they can't win in the Roadhog versus Roadhog matchup. So perhaps maybe just providing a barrier for your team might seem more important for you right there.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Maybe just fix whatever. Just if you'd lost the last round on basically the Dog just doing a lot there for the side of.
Oh my goodness!
Oh boy, there's a good hook for them right away. They have a nano boosted target, but that's a boostio. That's out. It's a nano boosted Lucio that is out. Keeps them alive for a little while. Sound barrier dropped from New York Tech, so the Lions gonna go ahead and use that sound barrier to push in. The Reinhardt is filed for a little while, but Chimp XC coming up on in Earthshatter if they decide to use it, or if they have enough time to use it right now. Has to charge. He's going to cancel it for right now. Molloy still in command, but the point almost flipped 75% of the way to being flipped. However, that whole hog will deny any entry and any chance for Chimp XC to live, plus any chance to fight this, and Molloy holds on halfway through.
Oh, nice right there from Combat Frog, managing to get the kill on Greca, taking the healer out of it, actually staggering her for a little bit, forcing New York Tech to have to wait even longer before they could go into their next engage. But Chimpex does have an ult ready, so does Zeiser, and Grebka almost having their ult ready as well. There's going to be a great push for them if they can line up everything.
If they can line up everything. Problem is, though, Cringe doesn't have the nano boost as well, so if you're going to wait for nano boost, you're going to have to wait for a little while if that Blade wants to do anything. There's the Earthshatter out, but it only gets a Roadhog, and in fact, the Sound dropping at the same time, so now Dark Hybrid's just going to pop off with the Ash, along with the Bob, the 6th man out on the floor, and it's final fight territory. Molloy advantage.
And Molloy managing to take everything right there. Nice, Genji managing to get back on there. Zeiser getting harassed by Combat Frog. I've never seen a healer treat a Genji like this so badly. All right.
It's looking good. I mean, it's looking. Oh my gosh! Wait, Zeiser doesn't have a healer there. That means that Dynamite's gonna kill him. Dark Hybrid gets the trade-off kill, but SOS Rebellion there to trade off as well. So New York Tech liking the fight so far if they want it. They've got now Sven with the overclock, gets rid of Combat Frog, which is huge for them. They're going to be able to take control of the point, and New York Tech holds on and is able to flip on, and this round is not over just yet.
Absolutely, we're still in it. Trying to get the chase on the Anna right there. Sojourn throwing out some shots. Not going to find anything. Oh, and the stun immediately. That was a great hook.
Good hook.
All right now. Chimpex, yeah, he's right there just holding up the point, realizing this, we're going to have to play this a little bit aggressively if we want to get it back. Oh, yeah. Sven aiming down the sights. There's a nano boost ready.
See if that nano boost is good for anything here. No, they held on, and they didn't need the nano boost in the last fight, so that was good news for them. They also have a whole hog and a Kitsune Rush available, so they could basically put on the Genji blender if they wanted to here with the combination of Kitsune Rush and the nano boost if they want to use 3 ults here, but still got a lot of percentage to go. You're not even going to get a nano boost off, though. Cringe, hook, line, and sinkered down below from Killer Bluebird right there. Good hook for them, and now they use the blade as well as the Kitsune Rush. They're going to trade alongside it. It's a trade fight for trade fights. Sven has to fight all the way back and slides back to the point. It's a 3-on-1 situation right here on the point. Sven goes down, and now the nano boosted.
Oh my god!
is out. A great shot using the overclock at the same time as well. Didn't find any more. The Lucio's inside of that disruption shot, but how long can they last for the nano boost up onto the Roadhog as well? A great hook from Killer Bluebird might have this seal this deal. However, both healers, one on each side, now down. Zeiser onto the Reaper, killing Killer Bluebird, and a big miss on the hook there. The trade fight still continues on, and Bob yet again on the point. A flip possibility here with only Chimp XC on the point. You got a Reaper surrounding you, you got a Kiriko as well, and this is gonna be fight win here for Molloy in basically final fight territory. SOS Rebellion still trying to hold on to this point as well. New York Tech is fighting for their lives on this map. Overtime clock will happen because of the flip of Molloy U, but Killer Bluebird's just gonna say, no, 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 wait just a minute. 3 kills on the board for the Roadhog, could be a 4th, and there is only 1 person left, and now there's no more chances for Molloy, or rather for New York Tech to try to hold on to this map. It is Molloy University that's gonna go up 1-0 in the series.
Oh, absolutely. Great stuff from Molloy. I have to say, Killer Bluebird putting in amazing work. Anytime Cringe was out of position, just immediately hook into headshot. Just hooking, honestly. And look at that. Boom, hook, headshot, right on the Cringe. What did I say? What did I say? It seems like every engage that New York Tech just lost, absolutely, Molloy just went in there and got a headshot off of cringe and managed to get that kill. And that's just so important, especially in a meta like this, where you have people like Roadhog with great sustain while still maintaining good damage output. If you could just manage to get rid of a healer, boom, you focus focus down your Roadhog next, and bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom, indeed. I mean, you had everything going for that. And look, I mean, it was a great start if you're the side of the Cybears of NYIT. You looked really good in the beginning there, and then all of a sudden it just flipped in the meantime. And then Molloy having to fight back as well. We almost got deja vu just in the opposite sense all the way around because Molloy took that first cap, and then New York Tech fighting all the way back. But then Molloy able to cancel them out and win in the end 2-0 on Lijiang Tower. But that's not to say, though, I mean, NYIT played them close. 95% on the Gardens, 90% on Control Center. Just not enough to finish. I think that's the problem. Just not enough to finish off the game. So now we will get to see what the team from New York Tech brings out. The Cybears have map pick. The next map coming up is Hybrid. So the question is what this team decides to pick from New York Tech. Do you play for comfort or do you play to see if you can disrupt the opponent just a little bit? If you're playing for comfort, I'm thinking that you pick Kings Row, but who knows at this point? I mean, there's been a flurry of maps. New map, of course, Midtown also in the pool.
Yes.
Yeah, Midtown is also in here as well. So this could be a flurry of different maps, but if history is anything to repeat here, Kings Row could be a pick.
Absolutely. I think in this situation, you might go for the comfort pick. For me, I think having a more calm mental is more important than trying to disrupt your opponent because Molloy clearly were able to pick up their mental even after a 95% cap. So the question is, can you really disrupt a mental that strong? If they were already in disadvantage, you weren't able to capitalize. At that point, I think it's more important to make sure you and your teammates are more focused or more comfortable going into the next map. So I think absolutely we might see a Kings Row pick right there.
Yeah, and you're looking for, I mean, if you're looking for comfort, right, you're looking, and we've been saying you look for comfort, you're looking for Kings Row. If you're looking for disruption, the Faro wasn't a bad idea if you're New York Tech as well. So Eichenwald could potentially be a pick. However, what we are going to see is something other than comfort for some teams. Midtown is the next match coming up. This again was New York Tech's pick. We get to see New York in a New York versus New York game.
Let's go, baby. All right. So let me tell you, I love the Grand Central map. I love me some Midtown. You know what I'm saying? Every time I just see that map, I think it's beautiful. I think that the chance to see who's really more experienced on a new map this season is going to be really strong. The fact that New York did pick it means to me they probably feel comfortable playing on this map. But the question is, Molloy is also technically a New York team. So who knows? This might be home advantage for both people. We're going to see.
Yeah, this is the interstate rivalry, right? This is the interstate New York rivalry, but you're playing on a New York map.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This is what we want. This is turf wars.
Yeah, truly, I mean, this is like two California teams going at it in Route 66. I mean, you could go any which way you want with it. But again, Midtown, the choice of map here for New York Tech. So the Cybears down 0-1. And in fact, if you go back all the way, I mean, in the history between these two teams, by the way, we'll get to subs here in a little while. Subs and rotations, actually. But the only time in this season at all right now, and I will give you this fact. In this entire season, Molloy College has only given up, New York Tech rather, has only given up 3 maps, and that wasn't a loss to Southern New Hampshire rather. Other than that, every single time they've won, it has been a sweep. There's only been 1 forfeit. They have not dropped a map in a win, but they have dropped all 3 maps in a loss. So this could be if this is history repeating itself. Right now, Molloy is looking good for a sweep. However, on the other side, Molloy University has dropped a lot of maps. In general, they've dropped 9 maps. 2 to Southern New Hampshire in one meeting, 1 in another one, and then they got swept back on October 21st against New York Tech. So Molloy looking for some sort of revenge here, if you will. And if you're talking about revenge is starting off on the right foot.
Oh, absolutely. To go back into a team that swept you previously and to manage to take the first map, that's got to be helpful for the team right there. And speaking of subs, actually, so we do know now that Chimp, the previous tank, is out. And in Zex, they're going to take Zex here and move him from DPS to tank. and bring in Adria, I think if I said the name correct, to DPS. So this is interesting because I do think that Chimp was kind of getting out tanked in that situation. Killer Bird was just showing that he knew the Roadhog to Roadhog matchup better. And even on the switch to Reinhardt, it seems like he still had that under complete control. So perhaps this might be something that Zexier is really good at. We might see something. I don't know.
We'll see Zeismer on the tank roll now, like you were saying. There's the swap that you see on your screen. This may or may not hold, but Zeismer on the Doomfist. For right now, they're still in the spawn room, so they can change. Molloy going for a little bit of a different scenario here. Not a lot of, so on the support side, remember, this is New York Tech's pick. So Molloy's side thinking, okay, we keep the Roadhog. Killer Bluebird's been doing well. Dark Hybrid on the Ashe, been phenomenal. And then SOS Rebellion on the Sojourn still. Pinecone and Combat Frog, not a Lucio on Combat Frog, although states his name in Frog, but chooses the Baptiste instead, and now they're going to pick the Ana here as well. Let's see what New York Tech pulls out, and yes, Doomfist is out.
Let's go! All right, I want to see. Do we have our Doomfist combos down packed? Is this the YouTube clip, Tom?
Is it? I mean, let's see if a Doomfist clip appears on YouTube here. But no empowered punch just yet. So Zeismer and for New York Tech, they're going to decide to go all the way around underneath the train to the left room and seeing if they can get maybe a pick here in this choke point. Although with the Roadhog hook staring you down, good thing that didn't hit anybody because that's such an easy choke to get through. But Sven, a big railgun shot onto Pinecone. That's huge. Less healing down.
Big.
Yeah, that's huge. You've only got singular healing down at that point. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock, and now everybody's surrounding the Roadhog. You cannot escape, my friend. You have to try and get away, but the Susan protects any other damage coming from that hook. That Baptiste is in a lot of trouble, and this Doomfist pick is going to work out spectacularly, as this should be a good take here for New York Tech.
Oh, absolutely. Gonna get swept right there. Finally gonna get eliminated by Dark Hybrid, but there's a res immediately. And this is great right there for New York Tech. The Doomfist managing to put up great work. There's the right fist again. The multiple headshots, and there's the boost. Oh, another one onto the Sojourn, and SOS Rebellion's gonna go down. And right now, this Doomfist is cooking. Oh, yep, hold ready too. Oh, let's see.
Those are meteor strike.
Yep. Ooh, okay. Dark Hybrid with the Sombra in the back. Like it.
All right, yeah, Dark Hybrid with the Sombra instead, maybe to disrupt the Doomfist a little bit, because you're right. I mean, you were saying the Doomfist is wreaking havoc back there, and they and just absolutely slamming down, like basically repeating the lyrics of Space Jam, if you will. Looking to slam down. With it 4 minutes and a half left to go in the clock, rather, they have the nano boost out that's going to go on to Killer Bluebird, who's going to release the whole hog, but nobody's there. Nobody's up there to use, although they do hack out the Reaper. Reaper able to get away in the process. However, Pinecone able to take care of Idea, and right now with 4:20 left to go on the clock, it's going to be tough for this Doomfist to enter in, really. But now you have the overclock. Is this going to be enough? Can you find a headshot? Sven almost goes down also low, but is able to get healed back up by this Mercy, who's just pocketing it now. Sven is getting able to go in up top on the overpass and get some headshots down, looking for a kill on to the Sojourn as well. Make it 2, looking for a 3rd, and this is going to be a good push up here from these side airs.
Yeah, absolutely. Great push right there. New York Tech Cyber is looking great. And maybe Zexier was hiding the Doomfist all along. Maybe this is what we really needed to be worried about. And there's a Kitsune rush coming out from Fringe already. Nice. There's a Sombra hack onto the Doomfist. Good.
Yeah, nice Sombra hack as well, but the Death Blossom out. Idea wants to shut this fight down entirely. 2 kills for Idea on the Death Blossom, kills onto both the Sombra and the Baptiste. New York Tech looking good to try to cap this point. However, the recontest is on. Idea wants to kill any possible staggers left to go on this point. You've got one person left to go contesting this, which is the Sombra, which is the Roadhog at the same time. The EMP comes out just to make sure that this fight can end, but the Roadhog still stays alive. It's a whole hog out, plus to take a breather, which won't even matter when Zeismer is in your vicinity. The cap should be here, but this is such a good stagger coming out from Molloy right now. They're just holding on to Sombra, making a huge difference on the stagger, but Dark Hybrid finally goes down, and New York Tech adds another 90 to the bank.
Absolutely. They're going to get the next checkpoint right here. And New York Tech looking great, even with those great staggers right there from Molloy. Zexier managing to make things work, and Aja managing to clean up right behind him. And now we get the switch off of the Doomfist back to the meta pick on Roadhog right here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe the Roadhog, maybe they're thinking the Roadhog pick doesn't, or rather the Doomfist pick may not work on this point. I mean, you had a Meteor Strike to use, but I guess the opts not to use it. Instead goes for the 30% refund and goes onto the Roadhog instead. But, I mean, Killer Bluebird also not having a whole hog either means that ultimate advantage in favor of Zeisswer. But the nano boost on the Killer Bluebird is going to be great for them as Zeisswer does go down. Sven is rezzed up after a magnetic grenade on to Sven. However, now Idea is going to go down in the hands of a good Bionade from Pinecone. Sven looking for headshots, looking for more. Has got 2 already. Disruptor shot misses just off the mark a little bit. Sven's probably going to go down here, and this is going to be a good defensive hold for the Lions.
Yep, absolutely great defensive hold. Killer Bluebird put in the work right there. And an SOS Rebellion putting in work as well. Oh, and there's the hook immediately off to the Roadhog versus Roadhog fight. Gonna go for the heal into the disengage though. I respect it. Oh, I smell a oh.
Uh-oh. Death from above.
See when it comes out. Oh. Wow! What a great pickoff, saying don't even come down here, brother.
Yeah, well, they've got the fight. They had a draw, but it's a good thing that it's a really good thing Idea didn't press Q there. It's a really good thing because if you died while using Death Blossom while dropping from there, that's a huge loss.
That is an insane loss right there.
But here we go. So we'll see again. Idea holds on to the Death Blossom. Do you have Grebka having the Valkyrie available to them as well? Dark Hybrid here, maybe looking to see if they can get the Deadeye out. Can it get the Mercy? It does. The Valkyrie means absolutely nothing. Magnetic Nade is out onto the Roadhog, and these are shots that you want here for Dark Hybrid. Again, trying to build up to another Deadeye within the last 2 minutes, and it's a good thing. And Comet Frag on to the Brigida as well, getting a shield bash kill onto the Roadhog, has a rally, and now Molloy. 3 ultimates coming up on 4 to use. This will be a big defense for them because New York Tech's got nothing in the board.
Oh yeah, absolutely. New York Tech not gonna have anything at all for this last fight right here. Hold hog on Killer Birds. SOS Rebellion does have it. Oh no, and there's the elimination onto Cringe. And yet again, we see the situation where Killer Bird just seems to know where Cringe is at all times and says, I'm gonna hook you. I'm gonna hook you. I likes you, I wants you, and I'm gonna hook you.
Oh boy. Well, I guess you could say the hook party is on, but minute and a half left to go on the clock. See if the kills can fall here for New York Tech, who's been stopped. A couple of fights, a great stagger from Molloy earlier on in point 2, from point 1 to 2, right before the cap point 2, and now a good defensive hold here brings New York Tech basically from after first fight, a big time bank, to now only a minute left to go on the clock. So Molloy's defense holding strong for right now, needing to use the protection Suzu very early on. Pinecone is going to nano boost into Killer Bluebird right now, who used the whole hog to push them away for right now, but not much else to do, if anything. There is somebody up there, and I think that's Sven that's up there on the Sojourn right now, looking to see if they can get anything, trying to build up to an overclock. Will they be able to use that overclock is the question. The Roadhog goes down. Big kill and a big hook from Zeisswer to get that going. Now you have a Kitsune Rush, and now a Rally is going to be used just to stay alive. Tactical Visor to be used at the same time. This is looking like final fight territory here for both sides, considering the amount of ults that are being invested. Idea also now being falling so low, but the Bionade only lasts for so long, is able to stay for a little while. Sven, no more overclock for them, and now you have the whole hog right on the Brigida. The Brigida somehow stays alive, but now the Deadeye kill finds 2. Idea's found 2. Zeisswer has found 2. This could be the team kill they want to try to win this one out. They do get the hook onto Idea, which is big for them. No hook to stop to take a breather just yet, and now it's Killer Bluebird just waiting for death. But right now, that stall could have been huge for them because now it's final fight territory, but you have the Lucio out. Deadeye available for Dark Hybrid. How many does it find? It does find 1. The protection Suzu doesn't come in time for Sven to capture it. Zeisswer also there as well to get 2 of their own on this Roadhog. Now the stagger might not even matter. They are able to complete the map just in time for the staggers, but they go all the way home. Uno, dos, adios, completing the entire map of Midtown. And the New York team from New York Tech starts off on the right foot.
Absolutely. Great work from the New York Tech team. The unconventional pick at the beginning with the Doomfist actually managing to put in wonders and even put them up on time when they needed it most. Because honestly, they were struggling a bit towards the end to finish, but they managed to cap it out, and they are going to take the first point. So now the question is, what does the Molloy come up with, right? Do you continue to just pick the meta comp? Do you go Killer Bird stays on the right, oh my goodness, on the Roadhog right there, and does Combat Frag go back to Lucio? And yes, he is not going to Bastion this time. Baptiste. We're going to go Lucio. I think, honestly, this is pretty good. Dark Hybrid managing to go Hanzo this time, which is going to be interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, well,
New York Tech, Rin staying on everything. Aja also staying on Reaper as well. Sven staying on Sojourn. No reason to change that at all.
well, they're going for meta, except for New York Tech instead of the Lucio. Grebka opting for the Mercy here. I guess you're mainly thinking you're pocketing your Sojourn here to start. Or just singular, or just mainly big singular healing. But from Molloy's side, you've got the Ana Lucio combo, very common back in Overwatch 1. But usually, I mean, here again in this meta, it'd usually be the Kiriko Lucio here. But for Molloy, they're going to pull out the Sombra, maybe thinking that New York Tech was going to pull out a Doomfist to start, but. Maybe not. Maybe now they're seeing that maybe they don't have the Doomfist, so the Sombra could be maybe a switch later on. Unless, I mean, that Sombra did well enough to stall them earlier on, so we'll see if that's the case here. Maybe to build up an EMP quickly would be the goal. Sliceware is hacked for a little while, meaning they have to get out of train for right now. But again, teams mainly opting to go for the underpass. So both teams start up the underpass. However, not a fast-paced underpass. Push here coming out from New York Tech, or rather from Molloy, excuse me, as they just move right in. However, Sven getting a kill onto Killer Bluebird is a big pick for them, meaning now they have to fight out in the open, and they can't really do much more of anything without a Roadhog to enter in, and New York Tech is going to put up the fence.
Yeah, absolutely. Sven making those great shots, just beaming everyone down, starting off with Bluebird. All right, there's a repositioning from Ija. So are we going to see an ambush directly out of the overpass right here?
I see him in train. Well, Slicer is jumping in train right now. Maybe just looking to see where they are. And again, they're going to go underpass yet again, but probably going to get denied here. It's a little bit slower. We saw New York Tech push up very early on inside of that side room, inside of the department for a little while, but getting the kill that they want to go ahead and push in. Molloy's not finding that right now. And Molloy isn't going to find it again because Combat Frog going down means a good chunk of healing down. You've only got Pinecone left, who has a nano boost available, but when Sven's on your tail, you got to run, you got to hide. It's not going to work out for you if you don't. And right now, Sven getting the kill onto Pinecone is huge. Doesn't have the overclock just yet. SOS Rebellion, a lot of trouble down in the back line, but still a good push here for New York Tech and another fence hold.
It's up right there. SOS. Yep. SOS is going to be down right there. Going to have to wait up to catch up with the rest of the team. Dark Hybrid does have that EMP ready. And there's the nano boost as well. Sojourn over at 90% and Killer Bird at 88%. So we could potentially see a little bit of a scrap before we drop some ults, since it's just to cap the point. Well, a minute and 46 seconds left. I smell it. We're waiting. We're waiting for the perfect time.
Waiting for an EMP, just walking around, taking a lovely stroll, if you will. Just taking a lovely stroll. Has the EMP, wants to use it. Yes, uses it. Only gets 2 though. Siceware and Grinch, the only ones caught up inside of it. But Idea does fall in the meantime, so that means, but there's no assist for the Sombra, meaning that EMP goes basically only for 2 people. However, if it was the correct 2 people, that's good. Siceware, how do you get res? Grebka reses Siceware back up, and now Sven with the overclock is just going to do massive amounts of damage on the Pinecone, onto Killer Bluebird. This fight's all but done, so the EMP goes for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. What a shame. Potentially maybe just waiting for that perfect opportunity. Just a little bit too harshly right there. Teammates ended up splitting up into a 2-2 situation, and you did not get the people that you wanted. And then Cridge and Grebka managing to drop their ults and getting great value out of them to even res Sicer, and Sicer managing to clean up house and keep the point again. So now New York Tech in a terrible situation, only having the Reaper ult available to use right now. And they gotta get down on Molloy. But Combat Frog and SOS Rebellion both have their ults available, meaning it's a great opportunity to hold. And if we can manage to get some headshots off, this might be a kill. And wait, is that a Junker Queen?
That is a Junker Queen indeed. Yes, Junker Queen switched on over from Killer Bluebird from the Roadhog here. And that might actually not be too bad of an idea here for them, because you got a nano boost to get rid of, but unless the Junker Queen can also get some stuff done too as well. Sven able to trade out though. Pinecone does go down, which is not a good sign for you at all. However, one of the main threats, Sven, does go down in the process. Dicer, though, got the kill onto Dark Hybrid. Good hook, but doesn't have the damage to kill. In fact, needed to reload, so the hook goes basically all for nothing here. There's a shot from the Rogun, finds nothing. Death Blossom is out, finds one. He's going to find SOS Rebellion, and New York Tech is going to shut the door on Molloy. We will be seeing at least 4 maps as New York Tech wins Midtown and ties up the series.
I say we're seeing the whole overtime. I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready. Oh, and there it is. Play the game going to Sven with that Sojourn looking incredibly good. Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is yes. Sven's aim is so good.
Yo, he was beaming. I have to say, he has great aim and great tracing right there.
Yeah, great games. And on a personal note, I would like to say that we will see 4 maps in my showtime here on Esports U and ECAC. This will be the first time in 8 maps in 8 series that we will see map number 4, at least map number 4. So my curse is now gone, folks. My curse is now gone away. We will see a 4 map, at least a 4 map series coming up here in a little while as the switch, the choice now goes back to Molloy. This will be Molloy's first map pick here because New York Tech picked Lijiang Tower to start because they were the higher seed. So this will actually be Molloy's turn to pick here as New York Tech wins 3-0. But what a turnaround that was from map number 1. Molloy knew how to finish the game there, 195 when Molloy took that over, and then Molloy started off with the point and was able to finish at the end, 100-90. That was on Lijiang Tower. Go to Midtown. And this is a different story. They got all 3 points for Tech, and then the Lions found no answers whatsoever. Not a single percentage point, I want to point out. Not a single percent was capped on the side of Molloy. They got the door shut in their face, and it was a full cap hold from New York Tech. So now with Molloy coming up here, the next map in this 1-1 series is Escort. Circuit Royale is in the pool as well. Oh, actually, I should also point out, Junkertown is back in the pool here, too, in this process. So there's a lot of potential for different maps coming up here.
Oh, my goodness. There's definitely a lot of potential. I saw Junker Queen come out at the end. So I kind of want to see a Junkertown now. I want to see it. I just want to see it. I think a map like that would probably favor Combat Frog a lot. If Molloy are trying to turn things around, a lot of space that he can move around with. Got to manage to stay out of the hooks of everything. Also, the switch to take on Zaraga doing great work, honestly. When you told me he came from Valorant, I would assume he would be sticking mostly to DPS, maybe potentially some support roles. He said, no, just put me in the tank. I'll pull out my Doomfist and we'll see how everything goes.
Yeah, there's really no hook character in Valorant, but all I could say is playing that Pharah back on first map. That's a lot of rays you got to practice there to hit the rocket out there. But the next map coming up here is going to be Route 66. So we stick with the U.S. theme, if you will, for the next for this third map here because we had Midtown last map. So we go from east all the way to west as Route 66 is the next map picks here. So for the longer sight lines, this is more open here and no switches or subs to report as of for right now. But we've seen Fars here, we've seen Echoes here, we've seen the meta here, obviously with Sojourn Reaper. We'll see if that happens again. But a little more openness to it, if you will, for points 1 and 2. Maybe not so much point 3, but if indeed that Zeisswer switches back to DPS, we probably see that Far once again. That would be a twist in itself. We'll see if we get any sub changes. Probably not here from what happened, and especially if you're NYIT, you don't want to switch out. Don't fix what's not broken thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. No reason. If you after winning that map, there's no reason to go into any sub changes right there. Maybe in response, if you end up losing this map, then you start switching things up. But no reason right now. Your team is in the big zone. There's no reason to give up that momentum by suddenly changing out players. Potentially, we could also see on points 1 and 2 the Ash picks that we saw in Lijiang Tower with those long aim down the sights. She could potentially make a comeback. Bob getting in there, he might do what he got to do on Route 66. That is her map.
Yeah. Well, let's see here, and there it is.
I called it.
Yep, New York Tech. By the way, New York Tech, there it is, your Ash pick right there. Idea's going to bring out on the defensive side with the Ash. So it's weird because it's only been about a month and a half since we said this. Bob's no longer the 7th man. He becomes the 6th man instead. But Idea now on the Ash, and Grebka sticking on that Mercy. He's probably going to pocket here either one of the DPSs, really, you could. Molloy, though, on the other hand, I think this might be our first time we see a Moira as well as a Soul Soldier in this composition. Again, longer sight lines, a little more open, so maybe they're thinking they can try to outsnipe them, if you will. Constant damage on the side of Molloy. Meanwhile, New York Tech really just you know, I shouldn't say poke damage, but shot by shot damage, especially on the Ash. But the Dynamite also out as well. They're going to push this around the corner for just a little while, but the Hog is hooked in. So that's entry point now for New York Tech if they want to try to fight this, because Killer Bluebird out of the fight. They can try to push them if they want, but for right now, Molloy says, hold on, we're going to back off, but they have no room to back off when Cringe and Zeisser are on your tails, and New York Tech is going to get the first defensive hold 50 seconds in.
Yeah, absolutely great defensive hole right there. Cypher and Cringe putting in great work. Still even hitting shots right now with Kiriko, building up that percentage already at 72%. And Zeisser holding down the point already at 77%. Managing to actually take it right there to Killer Bluebird. Show him, all right, listen, last time you beat my teammate in the hog-to-hog matchup, but me, I'm a little bit different. I might be that guy, so to speak.
Well, yeah, so to speak. There's the hook onto the burning and breathing Roadhog there, but Dark Hybrid's in this backline. Dark Hybrid's
oh my gosh!
You gotta look at Dark Hybrid. Dark Hybrid is just absolutely tearing up the field. The only person left to go here for a 4K would be the Kiriko, who's probably going to escape with her life. But Dark Hybrid just absolutely crawled into the backline and got everybody down, and Molloy advances the payload.
Oh, the flake right there from Dark Hybrid, absolutely. While we were looking at the two big boys fighting each other, it says, don't mind me, I'll just clear up your ADCs and your healers. You know what I'm saying? Just leave them defenseless. Oh, big miss on the hook right there. There's the ult right there. Oh, and the whole hog getting him.
Wow, that's well, I'll explain that in a little while. Meanwhile, they capped the point in the meantime. I didn't even realize they capped the point, so it's an additional 2.5. So for New York Tech, they have to back off. Molloy gets another 2.5 to the bank, and so they back off for right now. But what I was about to say is that Kitsune Rush plus Whole Hog, we have an endearing name for it now. It's called the Meat Grinder.
The Meat Grinder. Oh, I'm taking that. That is.
So the Meat Grinder came out, and basically New York Tech tried, or rather Molloy did it. Molloy used it and got, or New York Tech I should say, tried, but really it didn't really matter. They crossed paths with each other. One Kitsune Rush on one side, the Whole Hog on the other side. Meanwhile, Zeisser now will use the Whole Hog of their own, gets rid of Killer Bluebird. So this could be a good hold here for New York Tech in the process, because the Roadhog's down. But still, SOS Rebellion has a tactical visor to use. We'll back off for right now, waiting for the rest of the team to regroup. Not a bad decision here either. But now they're going to go for the upstairs position here with the Soldier, and the Mercy down also low. I'm not too sure the Mercy diving in there was the right play, because now Pinecone's gone, and now all you leave is SOS Rebellion, meaning Zeisser has a lot of room to play here except for the Roadhog. No, not a lot of healing either, and New York Tech is going to be able to put up the fence.
You gotta love Sven's right click right there. Managing to get the beam headshot right there on Killer Bluebird, which actually got a decent stagger against Molloy. And right now, Killer Bluebird at 85%, SOS Rebellion at full ult, and Pinecone about at 88. So potentially we could maybe see the Soldier aimbot with the Mercy power up. Kitsune Rush also on deck for Cringe with Sven. Okay. I like this holding.
Oh, they decide to, yeah. So Valkyrie and Kitsune Rush used at the same time here. So Cringe getting the benefit of the doubt. Oh boy, there's a hook. There's a Whole Hog coming out, or no Whole Hog coming out from Killer Bluebird. Decides to hold on to it, especially when you're down a DPS. Molloy has to back off for right now. So New York Tech starting off on the right foot there for the defensive side, but they will try to regroup here. And for right now it's a defensive hold for Tech. So they've got ults to use though, coming up on a Death Blossom, on a Valkyrie at the same time. Whole Hog available to them. Zeisser hasn't used that yet. Good hook onto the road.
Nice!
Pulls him into the disruptor shot at the same time. So even if he tried to heal himself, he's slowed, and there's just so much damage pouring in. And yet again, Molloy backs off.
Yeah, right now Molloy's seeming to really want to go through this cavern really badly. Right now, okay, there we are on the right side. Going through. Oh, and the switch over from Killer Bluebird onto Zarya. Okay. I haven't seen the big lady for a very long time, but trust me, I love her.
Well, she got patched up. She did get nerfed a little bit with the cooldown timers as well as the bubble duration here, but will it work out in Molloy's favor? We will see. It won't stop. It
no.
won't stop a whole hog coming your way. And meanwhile, all SOS Rebellion can do is just walk around until he finds death. So 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. New York Tech still saving a lot of ultimates here. We'll have potentially 4 in the next fight. Molloy coming up on 3 at the most. So right now, as it stands, Tech looking for a pretty good hold here on the first point.
Yeah, this is absolutely a great hold right here. Before they can even get 50% way through the second point, this is really, really good for them. Killer Bluebird potentially won't even have ult ready in time for this fight unless he gets to it. And wow, there's Sven getting the headshot right there on SOS Rebellion. All right, are we ready? Are we going to drop the Reaper ult at all?
Probably not. Dropping down is probably not. Dropping down without queuing, probably not the idea you want if you're going to Death Blossom, but seeing Sven...
It's so bad, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, like, sometimes, yeah. It would depend there. Is that, we'll see the Tactical Visor come out, so the aimbot is out, and aimbot does get Idea down. Will not get the Roadhog down, although the Mercy was an option. Grepka, how did you get that res?
Oh
Grepka
my
got the
God.
res, and Idea's gonna go off with the Death Blossom right after the res to get both SOS Rebellion, Combat Frog, and Killer Bluebird, courtesy of Zeisler, and 10 seconds left. I don't know if anyone's touching here. What a res and what a Death Blossom clutch from Greg Guy and Idea. Does anybody touch here in the last 5 seconds? Zeisler doesn't have a whole hog to pull them out for a little while, but the Disruptor shot will end any and all hopes, plus Zeisler hooking on to Combat Frog and kills Pinecone means New York Tech puts up the big fence and caps Molloy at 1 point and only 50 meters.
Oh my goodness, and that is great. And can we give honors to Grepko for probably some of the most sneakiest reses in the middle of chaos?
I don't know how.
See,
I don't know how.
It's like right in the middle of a war zone. Just say, you okay, bro? You good? All right, let's get up for a second.
It's unbelievable because these are in the middle. I want to point out these are in the middle of fights, right? These are in the middle of chaos, and Grubkov somehow finds a way, even if it's with the Valkyrie, finds some way to get the res off. And then Idea right afterwards thinks, okay, let me just press Q right after that, and Death Blossoms into 2 kills, winning the fight for New York Tech. So the support line from New York Tech is just going crazy right now, especially if you're Grubka, because these reses have been absolutely clutch the last 2 games, in fact.
Oh, hold on. What a switch from Dark Hybrid.
Also a May.
A May? Oh,
this is an interesting pick. Maybe because the only thing is maybe because you don't have a defensive ult against it. If Cringe is going to stick on the Kitty Code, the only thing you have is if you throw down a protection Suzu in time on a Blizzard, maybe to get them free out of that, to get your teammates free out of a Blizzard. That could be my only thing. But right now, maybe just to see if a little bit of desperation to hold on. Maybe I'm not too sure.
Hey, listen,
it's not a meta pick. That's what I will say.
It's definitely not a meta pick, but listen, desperation has made champions before. Maybe Molloy is saying, they're cooking up something that we just don't know about. Killer Bluebird actually sticking with the Zarya pick right here, despite the nerfs on everything, and even managing to get the bubble crack.
Okay.
And Sven immediately with the headshots, gonna trade 1-1 right there.
Grab again.
Yo, this is amazing. He keeps getting the res.
This is amazing. I don't know how. Grubka gets the res off onto Idea. Idea was stuck behind a wall from Dark Hybrid, who then kills him. But then, even when the wall drops and when all this chaos is going on, I guess the idea is, the movement shifts away from Grubka. Grubka able to get the res off, and now instead of Molloy being on the right foot, they're on the back foot this time, as they're being pushed all the way up here. Zarya does have one more bubble left to go in hand for right now. We'll hold on to it. Zeisler gets rid of SOS Rebellion, so the May is now captured off. Disruptor shot, no ultimates available just yet, but a Blizzard also coming up as well. Cringe also does have a Kitsune Rush to use for right now, but Pinecone will be the first to use an ult, but Sven gets rid of Dark Hybrid at the same token. So now the Kitsune Rush is Rogue Clash. There's a whole hog. The Meat Grinder is out, and they are pushing him all over the place. However, it finds no kills whatsoever. So the Kitsune Rush and the whole hog go absolutely for nothing. Sound barrier from Molloy to try to hold on to this as long as they possibly can, even with Killer Bluebird going down. I don't think that sound barrier caught Killer Bluebird at all. And in the meanwhile, 2.5 minutes left to go. Now Sven on the Disruptor shots, get rid of SOS Rebellion, and Cringe getting rid of the Kiriko was big for them. And this is going to be a fight win for New York Tech, who's going to advance on and add 2.5 to try to go up in the series 2-1.
Hello. Good to see you.
To be honest, I think this is the story. In fighting game terms, we call this the download, right? Now you just read most of your opponent's habits, and they only have to push 49.56 meters right there. The only ult on Molloy side right now is Dark Hybrids. Blizzard, SOS Rebellion going to be coming up with a Reaper Death Blossom very soon as well. But to be honest, New York Tech 3 ults on deck and just less than 30 meters at this point. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Molloy at all.
No, not at all. They're looking to see if they can get anything out here. Blizzard is going to come out. Will this find anything is the question. I think the Blizzard might not find anybody. In fact, that's the case. Nothing inside of the Blizzard. Death Blossom out from Idea finds nothing because Dark Hybrid comes out. But as I say that, Pinecone is caught inside of it. And now it's not looking great if you're Molloy. That's 3 kills. 2 of them coming from Idea. Make it a third here coming up for the side of New York Tech. Golden box of victory. 18 meters. I don't know if anybody's touching in the meantime because Combat Frog is out. Your only chance of touching now is this D.Va. Even a Tracer. I don't think none of them make it. Nobody's going to make it at all. And New York Tech with a clean first point going into second into the golden box of victory. And New York Tech is now 1 map away from going on into the championship.
Oh my goodness. And New York Tech. And look, it's Grevka.
Oh,
the legendary shadow healer, bro.
I don't know how. Okay, gets the res off first and foremost. I don't know how. And then gets the Death Blossom assist here, which again, is a good thing for them. They win the fight, but Grebka getting that play of the game is absolutely worthy. He was worthy of that play of the game because he rezzed up the winning fight. He rezzed up the winning Death Blossom. That's unbelievable.
Wow, that is amazing right there. Saying, I need you to come back. I need you to help me out, brother. You know what I'm saying? I res you go and kill everybody else for me. Good trade deals right there. And absolutely great work right there for Grevka. And Sicer on the tank roll, just showing dominance over Bluebird. It's a different tale from that first map where Bluebird quite literally forced off the initial tank, forced him off of Roadhog, ended up forcing them into playing Ariza. But now even losing the Roadhog matchup against Sicer, this might be looking pretty good for New York Tech. One more map. This is going to be Escort this time.
Oh, no, it's going to be, that was Escort. Next map up is actually going to be Push. So there's only 3 maps of Push available here. The newest one, Esperanza. The other 2 coming out earlier on in beta as well as earlier on in testing. But as well, you've got Coliseo as well as New Queen Street. So only 3 maps to choose from. Not a 4th one just yet that we know of. But for those 3 maps, for these, it's really hard to tell because right now, New York Tech is putting on a show. After losing Lijiang Tower, and like you were saying, now you have Sicer switching on over to the tank. Something awoke in New York Tech. A beast has woken up inside of the Cybers.
I don't know what music they got playing over in New York Tech right now. Maybe we got Pop Smoke playing something, but we're cooking over in New York. Oh, and the next map is actually going to be Coliseo.
Yeah, Coliseo is going to be up the next map here. So no more America. No more America. It's going to go out of America into Rome.
We all got to travel sooner or later, I guess.
I actually really want to travel to Rome as well. Very nice city. Very beautiful, beautiful city. Plus Rome. I mean, again, but Coliseo wanted the push map is the newest mode. No more 2CP, mind you. No more assault, but you do have push. And this game, all about momentum, really. And it's not like point capping here. It's back and forth for 10 straight minutes plus any overtime possibility. But still, it's a back and forth game. You lose momentum, you're probably going to lose the game. If every case possible. So winning that initial fight becomes super, super important. And I think there was a stat in the Overwatch League that was presented that I think 78% of the time that the team that won the first fight wins the map. That is an impressive stat in itself. That it just shows how big that first fight really is and how important that first fight becomes, unless you can get that momentum back and shift it on over to you. So here's where Push comes in, and here's where Coliseo comes in. This is going to be very interesting because Molloy needs this to keep themselves in this game. Meanwhile, if New York Tech wins this, they're in the championship against either Staten Island or Southern New Hampshire here. We'll see if we can get an update here. But either way, right now, this Push map is so important.
Oh my goodness. So statistically right now we're saying, right, based off the math, if New York IT manages to win this first fight, it's game over. There's
78% of the time. 78% of the time.
Those are good odds.
20,
I'm going to be honest.
But 22%, if you were watching, one of the greatest comebacks in push maps comes from the side of the Mid-Season Madness. Go back all the way there in Overwatch League when you saw the Gladiators take on the Shock. The Shock traveled at about 100 meters before, and the Glads were only about 10 meters in, but the Glads were able to shove it all the way in for the win at the end. So it was 100 to 10 meters, I believe, and then the Glads were able to win a number of consecutive fights to get it all the way for the win in that Mid-Season Madness tournament. So for right now, again, it's all about momentum here. It's just where does that momentum land really going to happen in the last 5 minutes of the game if these two teams are evenly matched. So if the teams are evenly matched here, that last 5 minutes becomes becomes an entire chaotic show. But we will see again Colosseo coming out here in the next map. If we were to go to a last map here, obviously the last map will be Control. So we will not see map 6. Hybrid is now out of the picture. So we will not see, this map cannot tie, so Hybrid will no longer be a thing for map 6. We will only see 5 maps here, if at all possible, but for right now, let's take a look at what both sides are pulling out, and for the first time in the series, Orisa is a thing.
Oh my goodness, and there she is again. We did see her initially from the previous tank that Killer Bird actually got out of the game all the way in map 1. So this is only her second time appearing in the entire time. And Dark Hybrid going to Ash. I love it for this first initial fight because there is a lot of long aiming down the sights here. There's a slight curve for people to kind of carry to take cover. But other than that, if you're good on your shots, I think Ash is a great pick here. And Zeiss are actually going down against Killer Bluebird right here, managing to hold on to everything. There's a confirmation, putting up the defenses. Oh, and the DPSs are fighting to the side.
Yeah, Idea went for a flank there, but not a great idea for them. As they were trying to do that, but unfortunately with the Orisa there as well, they've got some good help, and it's not like the Roadhog's trying to look for a hook in the front line here. It's an Orisa that's just trying to block any damage here. Sven's almost to an overclock already, mind you. 72% on the way to an ultimate. The closest one to an ultimate as of right now, but this fight is lasting forever. We're already a minute in, and nothing big. I mean, they've traded, but nothing grand has happened so far. Grebka getting a res off onto Sven, normal. At this point. 1.32 meter differential with New York Tech control of the bot so far, but again, this fight has lasted forever. Orisa versus Arita, nano boosted Killer Bluebird. I mean, they are fighting. They know that first fight win is for this game mode here, and they are fighting with everything that they've got to let neither side have it. The Kitsune rushes come out, clashing on both sides. Combat cross. Hybrid though with 2 kills on their own. This could be enough for a fight win here. Valkyries from Grebka, but a great Biolate. That's huge. Pinecone.
That's amazing.
Pinecone, by the way, a clutch Biolate. 3 people going down. Grebka, Cringe, and Zeiss were all got bionated. The Terror Surge from Killer Bluebird is big, and Molloy able to get the first push.
Oh my goodness, and right now that puts Molloy in the 78%, potentially bringing it to a map 5, but there's still the 22% right there. New York Tech have shown they have great adaptation against Molloy, so we potentially could see something going on here. And the Orisa versus Orisa matchup, very good stuff out of Killer Bluebird right there. And there we are, forcing that fight again into the skirmish. Zex here trying to force him over the point. I like this. Forcing down the issue.
Oh, 6th man is out though. Here comes the Terror Surge. 3 people inside of it. That's a lot of damage gone. And now your Ash is gone. Good javelin throw from Zeiser. 31.75 meters in. This is looking good if you're the side of New York Tech to try to bring this one back. And it looks like they will give up the bot for right now.
Yeah, and absolutely in the game of momentum right there. New York Tech saying, listen, we'll give you a little bit. And they were going to get a pause.
Yes, New York Tech, I believe, calling for the pause in that situation. Actually, one of the players, I believe, disconnects, or one of the players did disconnect in the process. So that is a pause in the action for right now. We'll bring it back to the caster desk in a little while. But so far, 31 meters to 8.79 meters, the story so far in this game mode. And that first fight, I want to point out, lasted about 2 minutes long before finally somebody got a first push from Molloy in the meanwhile. So that first fight becomes so important, but if you can win the second fight, it's not too bad either, because while I don't have a statistic for that, unfortunately, if you win the second fight, at least with 31, only giving up 31 meters, you've given yourself a shot to try and take a lead, especially after a second fight, which has a lot of staggers. That's exactly what New York Tech is bringing back to the table for right now. So Colosseo, again, we're in a pause due to a disconnected player, 31 meters to meters along the way with the Lions in the lead right now, but Cybears have the push control on the bot in that last fight. So while we get them all together here, just letting you know right now that the next stream for the ECC coming up is going to be next week Sunday, which is going to be the championship. Winner of this game takes on number 2 Staten Island or number 3 Southern New Hampshire. By understanding, that game took place or started 30 minutes before us, and right now still in progress. So if it started 30 minutes before, you know that is a good 2 versus 3 game going on
that is a great game
now.
right there.
4 meters left to go here. We'll see if they want to give up the lead, and they are not going to give up the lead. Just over a meter left to go before Molloy, New York Tech takes the lead here. Death Blossom in the back line, able to take care of Pinecone, but Sven also down in the back line as well. So your only healer now is going to be this Kiriko. It's another trade-off. 2 of the DPSs, 1 on each side. Both go down. It's still an Orisa versus an Orisa push battle here. Kitsune Rush trying to go right onto this Orisa to make sure that she is pressured out. For right now, the fight continues on. Really no big damage either with this Kitsune Rush. Now the Kitsune Rush being used later here by Combat Frog is going to kite New York Tech all the way back. Sykes were in a lot of trouble. Good protection, especially for right now. They're still going to push this up. 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Mind you, there's only been 3 fights here in the matter of 4 minutes. Sven with a railgun headshot on the Dark Hybrid already. And now the Terror Surge. Big 3 people inside of it. Zeisswer's got a kill on the Combat Frog, which is huger than Zeisswer looking for more. And it's going to be New York Tech that takes the lead.
Nice. Great stuff right there from New York Tech. And the kill on Pinecone as well. Interesting to see the Moira pick come out again from Pinecone. And Grevka, as usual, staying on the Mercy, putting up great numbers. Great rest, too, before the fight even began. And, are we pushing all the way this far up?
Oh, they can, because there is that sidestep, so they could. But that's risky.
That is incredibly risky right there. I like it.
I think we all but high risk, high reward. However, if you take high risk, high reward if you're Sven, because you get the high reward on the headshot on the Dark Hybrid from the window shot. And so 66 meters, they do get forward spawn. The checkpoint does hit, so Tech will have a little while before that bot comes back online, and we'll get back to pushing it a little while. But the Terror Surge comes out from Bluebird, which is able to take care of Cringe, and another Javelin throw. These Orisas have been excellent thus far in this game mode, and right now Idea going off the map to reset, and SOS Rebellion going to be staggered a little bit, but Molloy takes back the bot control.
Absolutely great bot control right there from Molloy, forcing New York Tech off. They're going to run up with the robot right there. And immediately this fight right back here in the hallway where it all began. I'm ready for another 3-minute fight. I want it.
How long can a fight go, ladies and gentlemen, on push? This is the question we will see. Zeisswer switching on over from the Orisa, by the way, to the Roadhog instead to maybe get a little more push on this Orisa. But so far, they've got the bot just right about to the push wall here. They are going to get a little more meterage. Sven able to take down Combat Frog, not with the secondary railgun shot, but with a little bit afterwards at the same time. Pinecone having to invest the Coalescence here. A little bit of a visual bug there, but Coalescence is used in that process. And in the meantime, Kitsune Rush used by Cringe. Combat Frog does not have it, and now Reaper is just going all out here. Sven, Idea is just going to push them all the way back to spawn, and it's more meterage coming up for the Cybears.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's looking like they could potentially even end this on the cap. Right now, Molloy does have 2 ults ready between Dark Hybrid and SOS Rebellion. Combat Frog at the 85%. Potentially could have it up ready very soon. They have to get out onto this point, have to stop the robot as soon as possible. Oh, and there's the hook immediately. Luckily, no deaths come out of it. All right, there's a railgun shot from Sven. And the kill on Combat Frog and SOS and Dark Hybrid.
Idea's
just Bob is down too.
Idea's just gonna end this game. 2 kills on the Death Blossom here. The stagger fight is on desperation mode. Forget this being close. How about trying to not complete the map if you're Molloy right now? Terror Surge is out for any desperation points, but no one's gonna be able to touch thanks to the whole hog. And New York Tech completes the whole map of Colosseo, and New York Tech advances to the championship round.
Oh my goodness. Great stuff out of New York Tech. And Sven absolutely played the game right there. Let's see it. Nice. In the middle of that Kitsune Rush. And this was the last push right before that last fight. Right. And you can see Sven just beaming everyone down.
Oh, Sven with 4 there. Oh, boy. So the Kitsune Rush I mean, folks, it was just an impressive streak here. I mean, but there's a lot of people you could consider for play of the game, especially on New York Tech's side. You had a couple of good plays there from the side of Zeisser on Molloy U Lions, but it's not enough to overcome what the Tech Cybers have brought out. Cybers now move on to a record of 7-1 overall in the season. So 7 wins, 1 loss in an 8-game series, especially in their long schedule that they had of 7 weeks. Now in the 8th week, they get 7 out of those 8 weeks wins. And now that 1 win leads them in to the championship round to take on either Staten Island or Southern New Hampshire. And again, we'll see if we can get word in for the last scores to see who their opponent may be in that championship round. But we will take a short break. When we come back, we will see if we can get an interview from one of the teammates of the winning team of the New York Tech Cybers. But again, Tech wins 3-1 over Molloy. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
That's so cute. UCF, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. We got it.
Go Knights, charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Come on. Oh, let's go! Let's go! My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird. Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows. We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear it.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me, the first clip is me saying, don't put that in. And then it was the first, cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day 1 of the tournament, but instead we're going to have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. The Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry. For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited. What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes. Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down. What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because
Sure.
I like to like zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know, like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know, it might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun. You know?
No, bro, I feel it. I feel it absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great for them against Northwood here today. This guy's playing Minecraft right now. He keeps double building instead of placing the dirt. Pressure's on, man. Everybody's watching. Just kidding. Just me. Cameraman's not over here. Just kidding. He's behind you. There's actually always cameras on you if I'm around. Do you double build all of those? No excuses, bro. Your college esports Minecraft team absolutely rolled. L after L here. Let's hope UCF has a little better luck on stage, huh? What is going on, everybody? I am Septilence. I have the honor of welcoming you to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, that was good. That was good. Good content, good content.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year's, everyone, and welcome back to the ECAC Esports channel. As always, my name is Kyler K-Ted Tando, and I once again have the privilege of introducing you all to some of the best collegiate esports plays. Now, I know when we left off last year, I teased a little bit about some big news on the horizon, but that news is finally ready to break. Now, this year, in partnership with CSMG and their newly launched Esports U network, we will now be able to bring you guys double the amount of ECAC matches. So, with double the matches comes double the highlights. And with that said, I mean, obviously, right, do the math here. It means that we get to take this series of videos to a weekly top 8 instead of just the top 4 like we did in the past. But anyways, that's enough out of me. I'm sure you guys are ready for some hype plays and crazy moments. So without further ado, here you go. In our season opening clip, we have Ghost and Ox with a devastating 1-2 combo that just breaks SLU at the knees. Or is it boosters?
Can't fall through. Nice bounce, but a nice goal! Right past the defender. Ox makes it look easy.
I'm so surprised because I couldn't.
At number 7, Rawfam pounds his chest and decrees that he is the strongest in the jungle with this sick 3K to flip the point.
The arms and keeps everyone alive through that. Amplification Matrix came through, but we didn't get the same benefit we saw last time with the Amplified Fire Strike. Instead is Angry Monkey time from a fan with a 3K. Call that the Primal Blade.
As our first Smash play of the year, it's the clean 9 stock from Hydra to lock down New Jersey City's 2-0 win against Husson.
As they go for that kill confirm again, it's not going to connect this time, but there it is, just waiting on the platform for the spike. NJCU cleaning up in their signature style. Hydra leading the charge all the way home.
Next up, it's every shorty player's dream, and what's going to be a nightmare for University at Albany.
Up close and personal. This is the one player who's got a chance with his read. How about timing here? So step forward now into the angle. Certainly good for one.
Yikes.
There's the one. No one's reswung. He's reloaded. This never happens to a shorty player. Nevin is up now as well.
In our next clip, who needs teammates when you've got a wall? Grim surely doesn't.
Snaps and passes. They tried their best, and that is an open goal. But unfortunately, out the top, it's going to be the header in. Tit for tat. Grim takes it in on their own.
Ooh, spicy little double tap right there. You saw him looking for it, but that's not an easy read.
Rounding out our top 3, it wouldn't be a highlight video without our first ace of the season.
Welcome back, everybody, inside of the booth here. Clutch King alongside Acoustics with you, and joining us from the winning team of the #1 seeded New York Tech Cybears is going to be Sven, and Sven popping off on that Sojourn all game long, as we saw, especially in that last map. I know that last play of the game, the 4K, just shows prominence all throughout the entire maps that you guys have played. So Sven, welcome in, and congratulations on a great victory.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I mean, as you said, it was crazy at the end there. It really was.
Yeah, crazy at the end there. And my first question for you, so for you guys coming in here, number 1 seed, lots of confidence going in as well. Only 1 loss on the entire season, 6-1 for you guys in the regular group stage or regular season as well. Getting this win, going to the championship game, what does that momentum mean to you guys right now?
It means so much. I mean, I've been with the team for 2 years now. This is my 2nd year. Last year, we made it to grand finals, and we lost. Right? So getting back to that spot, it means a lot for everyone here.
Okay. All right. So quick question for me, from you this one. How do you feel that your contributions as a DPS, do you feel they fully carry your team, or do you feel that everyone just has a major portion to put in towards the team? Like, do you think if you weren't even able to perform, do you think your team could keep going as strong as they have been performing so far?
Honestly, absolutely. I mean, today, I won't say I did nothing. I think I did a little bit here and there, but
a little bit is being very generous.
a little son. I was kind of cooking.
I did my job, but I was only able to do my job because my team empowered me. I mean, we lost that first map. We lost it.
Yeah.
But we made some swaps. We talked about what went wrong, and because of that, I was able to do my job just like everyone else.
Okay, absolutely. And funny enough, that actually brings me into that second question. When you guys actually lost the first map to Molloy, what went through your mind there? And what was the discussion behind some of the swaps that NYIT did make?
Yeah, I love that question because we went into this game knowing that we beat this team before. We beat Molloy, right? So from a few of our members, we were a little relaxed. We were like, this is going to be fine. And it started off fine. But obviously that didn't stick. So we decided to really pull it together, get a little more focused. And when we did that and we made some comp switches as well, which ended up really helping, we saw success pretty quickly.
And saw success you did again after that first map of Lijiang Tower, 195, 190, both sides Molloy, and then all of a sudden a beast just awoke inside the entire team of for you guys for Cybears. So again, the tech team winning 6-1, Cybears over the Lions. And last question for you, and actually we'll give out some breaking news at the same time as well. Staten Island versus Southern New Hampshire. That game does go final, and Southern New Hampshire is out by a score of 3-1. Staten Island, number 2 seed, is going to be in. So 1 versus 2, but here's the interesting thing, because we have the player from Tech here. Southern New Hampshire handed you guys your only loss of the entire season. Now you're back here in the championship game without having to face that team that beat you guys 3-0 earlier on. What does this mean for you, and how excited are you for a championship game, 1 versus 2, but a potential game that you guys can win here?
It's really just mind-boggling how this is turning out. I mean, we don't fear SNHU, the team that just went down, but we have some history with them. It's who we lost against last year, right? So we were ready to come back and smack them, show them how we've improved. But it's kind of crazy to see how it's not going to turn out like that.
Yeah, it's not going to turn out like that. You guys do get Staten Island here. So again, Staten Island with a 3-1 victory. So it will be next week, Sunday. It'll be Staten Island taking on the New York Institute Tech, the Cybears, 6-1 versus Staten Island. So hey, you guys are on a roll right now and going into the championship game. All smiles, as you should be, from Sven over here. So Sven, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck next week, Sunday.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
And thank you very much. Sven joining us here inside of the booth, and a great, and you saw throughout that entire thing, all smiles from Sven, and rightfully so. After that first map, 3 straight maps from them, 3-0 on Midtown, 2-1 on Route 66, and completed map on Colosseo. Just absolute monster performance there from New York Tech. Cybears advancing on, and what a way to show up to run into the championship game yet again.
Yeah, absolutely, showing their dominance as the first seed in the tournament. And even though they don't say they weren't worried, they still managed to dodge, what could have been potentially a very strong team for them to have to face at the end. They still play everything the second seed, which is, of course, strong. But you know what's even better? This is still a New York versus New York finals. We don't often claim Staten Island, but just for this one time, it's another interstate match, and I can't wait to see it.
It'll be a New York state of mind, if you will, for that championship game in the ECC. Staten Island taking on the New York Tech Cybears. That will go on next week, Sunday, on the ECC Twitch. So stick around for that again on the ECC Twitch side. You got the championship game, number 1 versus number 2. You do not want to miss that. Coming up next week, by the way, there will be more playoffs. That is December. It is playoff season here all throughout the shows here on Esports U. So more playoffs for ECAC, NJC, AAE, and ECC coming up all here on the channel spread across, but don't want to miss anything here. Want to thank everybody on the back end. Thanks you to Cool Scoots, our observer, as well as Colton, our producer, and to you, my friend. Always fun when Acoustics is in the house. No, you're two opposite sides of the nation, by the way. One in New York, that man in New York on your right side, and on the left side in Hawaii. But either way, still 5 hours apart, but still having fun either way, all the way through. Thank you very much, my friends. All of us, you for watching as well. Thank you very much. And until next week, more playoffs next week. We'll see you then. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big...
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the storm. Community 0.
There's nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning or just pure socialization and fandom. Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient, in my opinion, tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, a billion impressions and a million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community on, let's just start with on campus.
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time it was Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the third month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our lands, our club meetings, and everything from that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional esports is having this tribalism problem because it's the majority of it's online. It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, that's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur. People will follow LeBron and specific players on different teams to wherever they are. But I think for collegiate specifically, schools need to create meaningful live experiences